Welcome, food travelers. I'm Simon.
And I'm Micah.
In this episode, I'm traveling to Taiwan, to Taipei, and it's been a really long time since I've been back here. Probably, I think, 3 or 4 years since we've all got locked down in our own countries.
Yeah, I came back to Taipei back in, I think it was 2019, Micah, so it's been quite a while too. It would have been nice to be able to go on this trip to myself, but unfortunately, with schedules and everything we have, not everything can always line up, but of course it's always fun to be able to get out and about now.
Yeah, definitely. So starting off here, we're sharing our experience here at the Taipei 101. And Taipei 101 is actually formerly known as the Taipei World Financial Center. And it was the world's tallest building since it was opened in 2004 up till 2009 when the building in Dubai overtook it. And it's pretty much got 89 floors. I pretty much booked my ticket online ahead of time before coming here, and buying it online, it was about $20.50 for each ticket for adults. And the ticket also included a entrance ticket, Wi-Fi the entire time you're there. You can skip the lines, express elevator queue, which at this time when I came, it was actually, the weather was not that great. And so there wasn't really much queue to begin with.
Yeah, at least you gotta go up. For me, when I was there, they had this big kind of event going where people were doing kind of a race thing where they were climbing up the stairs, and I forgot how many floors that they were actually climbing up, but there was a lot of people there at that time, and so I actually didn't go inside and get a look around at all. I just got to see the outside for the most part. Do you know why they call it Taipei 101 and then there's 88 or whatever, 88, 89 floors?
I actually don't know why it's called Taipei 101. I do know there is 89 floors, and I believe you can actually go up to the top where it's open. I think that's the 100th floor or 90th floor. I don't recall exactly how many that was, but I know when I was exchanging my voucher for the ticket, the ticket counter person was telling us that, oh, you actually cannot go to the very top because of the weather. So due to weather, there might not be very much views. But because I bought it for that particular day, I had to use it, and that was part of my schedule. So it is kind of what it is, unfortunately, but I'm glad I was able to actually go up to Taipei 101. Another thing I did want to mention is that elevator ride was actually really, really fast. For being 89 floors, it only took 37 seconds, which according to them was about 60 kilometers an hour or 37 miles per hour, which is extremely fast.
Yeah, that's pretty fast, especially we have a couple other episodes where we visited the Space Needle and the Stratosphere over in Las Vegas and Seattle, and those were a minute or so, a little bit less than a minute, but this was much faster, and this is actually much higher too, so definitely that's a pretty good speed.
Yeah, definitely, and those videos would definitely be in the description down below if you want to watch those. So part with the Taipei 101, I feel like when you get to the top and be in Asia, you have all these decorations and different type of areas to take pictures of with you or with anybody that you're with, and I think that's like a big thing with this building, because I remember when we went to the Stratosphere or Space Needle, there are things you can take pictures of, but not really like decorations or angel wings or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of noticed too, kind of all these I guess you can quote unquote Instagrammable places. And definitely, I think Asia has a big focus on that, where they create all this space just for pictures itself. Whereas it seems more places in the U.S., it's not so much. They have a few things here and there, but it's definitely not as elaborate or as full as places in Asia are.
And as you see in the video, you see a lot of people are still wearing masks, and at the time of recording, that was still a mask mandate in Taiwan, where everyone indoors had to wear a mask regardless of vaccination status and such. But that is something that was going around. So it was kind of funny too, because people were taking their mask off for the pictures, but then quickly putting it back on.
Going through the video, I saw that there was the kind of outline of the Elephant Mountain, and it's kind of too bad that the weather was bad because, like I said earlier, I wasn't able to go into Taipei 101 and take a look, but I did hike up Elephant Mountain, so it actually would have been really nice to kind of see that view of actually where I was when I did hike it from Taipei 101 rather than just seeing all the clouds and seeing pretty much nothing from all those block views you got.
Yeah, speaking of Elephant Mountain, that was something I also hiked up the last time I was in Taiwan. I unfortunately didn't get time to do this trip, but that's if you're from Seattle and kind of thinking of Elephant Mountain, you could think of Rattlesnake Ridge or Rattlesnake Lake. It's like the most popular destination for tourists to hike up. And I remember when I was there last time, there was actually like a tour bus that dropped people off to go hike up that mountain.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hike. I think from what I remember, the beginning section have stairs or kind of more of a stone steps that you kind of go up for a while, and then you get more towards the top and it starts to become more kind of a dirt paths and everything else. And from what I heard, because I didn't go all the way to the top, but it kind of snakes itself out a good amount of direction, but generally there's a really good spot where you can go up and take a picture with Taipei 101 in the background, and that's actually as far as I got when I was there.
Yeah, it's not a long hike. I believe it was like no more than 20 or 30 minutes all the way to the very top, and there is like this big boulder at the very top where you can just kind of sit on and pose for the picture, and yeah, you, like Simon said, you can see Taipei 101 in the distance, and along with all the city skyline. So if you are in Taiwan and you're looking for a short hike, definitely go visit Elephant Mountain and hike up there.
One things I kind of think is interesting is how they kind of at least try to make all the different things interesting, like the elevator, like how the video showed where it went dark and it looks like there's stars and everything all over the wall. Well, I think that's one of the cool things that, at least in the past with elevators, a long time ago, they used to never really do anything really to make them interesting. And at least nowadays, they seem like they add a lot of stuff to make riding an elevator just that much more enjoyable, especially if you don't have a outside view to see something.
Yeah, definitely. I remember like when we were going up Space Needle and there's like it was like completely like a glass elevator view and you could see everything. That was a really enjoyable ride. And I remember Stratosphere, there was nothing to see. It would have been nice if that one actually had some lights or something to look at. So moving along, with the item that I actually got for food is called a truffle egg stewed chicken with sesame oil congee. It was pretty basic lunch spot that I went to. It was in the food court below Taipei 101, and that food court was completely packed. There was a lot of choices, but it was really, really packed. It was really difficult to find a spot to eat, and it was actually pretty cheap. It was about 200 new Taiwan dollars, which is less than 10 US dollars, because right now the exchange rate is $1 US for every 30 or 30.5 new Taiwan dollars.
Was it worth it? Was it pretty good?
Yeah, I think so. Because it kind of has a top. It was topped off with a typhoon style egg. Is that what you call it? Kind of like twirled up, and it was pretty good. It was extremely hot too in terms of temperature. So it wasn't the easiest thing to eat quickly. But being in Taiwan at the time of recording, it was still pretty chilly, so I think it was a good choice of food to eat.
Okay, at least that's good. Always good to find good food, especially at good price. And I know in Taiwan they have all the street food around everywhere, and the night markets were when I was there, and so definitely good food is around. So then, is this outside we're seeing here now in the video where you have all these kind of item to kind of celebrate something? It looks like Lunar New Year.
Yeah, so this is the Taiwan Lantern Festival. It goes on for about 2 weeks, and it's kind of just once a year ongoing, and it's been ongoing for 34 years. So the first time how they celebrate ushering the first full moon of the Lunar New Year, and then the full moon actually carries the hopes and dreams for the future. So this event since 2001, it's been going to different cities around Taiwan, and this is the first year it's returned to Taipei after 23 years. So with all these different type of lanterns, it's actually kind of like a competition at the same time, where the winner actually takes home 80,000 Taiwan dollars, which is roughly, I think, 2,600 US dollars. And this is only a really small section of the Lantern Festival. It goes on for miles and miles.
Interesting. So they don't keep this in Taipei every year. So it moves year to year to a different place, and it's humongous, right?
Correct. Yeah. So it goes to different type of cities throughout Taiwan, and pretty much everything is outdoor. So this was actually outside of Taipei 101, and within, I think, a block away from that location. And at the time of this recording, I was also staying at the Grand Hyatt Taipei, which is surprisingly, you could see it from the hotel too. So it was kind of nice being able to seeing this event ongoing. And at this event, when I came, it was actually the last night that they had this event. So I'm glad I actually got to see it for a little bit before all the lights actually shut off on me.
It's definitely elaborate with all the different projects that people have put up to compete. Definitely would have been, probably seems like one of those things where being there is so much better than seeing it just on screen, and probably a much different experience.
Yeah, definitely. So part of the competition is kind of mainly inspired by the Year of the Rabbit. This year, it's the Year of the Rabbit, and kind of like the pride of Taiwan and pride of the diversity and inclusion that they have there. I didn't even know about this event until I got there, and I remember taking the taxi all the way to the hotel, and the taxi driver was kind of asking, "Oh, what are you guys doing here? Is this your first time?" Or and then I kind of asked them, "Is there any like special things going on? Anything I should see that I haven't seen in the last few years that I've been?" And they were like, "Yeah, since you're staying at the hotel across the street, definitely check this event out."
It's always nice to get a nice tips from locals who are around. Definitely, it's always something appreciated, that I think, because it's one thing to kind of hit the tourist spots, but then one thing also to kind of get that little extra information that helps you kind of, if you don't quite plan everything on a trip, that kind of lets you at least add some certain things to make things exciting and kind of fun on a day to go look at something.
Yeah, so I think it was a great suggestion by the local taxi driver. I would have never came here if they never suggested it. But overall, I had a really great time here. Even though the weather kind of sucked going up Taipei 101, but it was still enjoyable. I'm glad I finally got up there and actually experienced everything that they had to offer. All the previous times I've been to Taiwan, I've only been inside the Taipei 101 mall. That mall itself is already very impressive with how much they have to offer, but going up there and seeing it in person is a whole different experience. And to wrap up the episode are the notables. Unfortunately for this one, there are none.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.